Let me share our 23-day adventure traveling across the nation you're 6 most likely to be murdered in. So let's just talk facts for a minute. You're twice as likely to be murdered in Las Vegas, 5 times more likely in St. Louis than you are here in Medellin, Colombia. In this documentary, you'll hear from locals, gringos on everything from dating, the dangers, how to stay safe, cost and quality of living that might make you reconsider your life. Join us on this adventure with 7 friends with no exact plan across Colombia and how not to get drugged and robbed by women on Tinder.
Deben de saber que las mujeres colombianas no todas son alborotadas, no todas están por la vida fácil, sino que también hay mujeres muy interesantes, inteligentes, independientes y echadas para adelante.
Bueno, me gustaría mucho que supieran que somos hermosas, que tenemos una energía increíble, que nos encanta mostrar nuestra cultura y que tenemos mucho que ofrecer.
Sentirse como en su casa y no pensar que acá solamente hay mujeres que entregan su cuerpo para estar con ustedes, porque es eso.
Somos mucho más.
Somos demasiado más. Inteligencia, tranquilidad, paz, amor, o sea, llenas de todo. Y los gringos realmente llegan aquí solamente buscando como eso, prostitutas, personas que le dan placer,
o
y eso
drogas,
no es así.
O drogas, y no es así. O sea, estamos mal vistas.
Ajá,
y no hay que generalizar, realmente no hay que generalizar porque somos mujeres lindas, buenas.
So first, let me apologize to any Colombian thinking this is the world standard for bowling. This is different. Nowhere in the USA can hold a candle to this place.
And they were about to sign a lease and they watched your YouTube video. So they came to Medellin and they ended up staying and asking me if I wanted to come out and help with their startup, and I said yes, and I kind of never left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone told me, oh, you should go to Colombia, and then I changed my flight to go to Colombia, and then I liked it so much that I stayed 5.5 months. But if you're thinking with your brain and don't do stupid things, it's not that dangerous. Yeah, maybe you will lose your phone, but like they're not gonna kill you.
New York can be just as dangerous as Colombia, right? There's this misconception that it's so dangerous and that like you have to watch everywhere you're going, and you do, you should be on your guard. But I just think that that's not fair to say and give Colombia that reputation, because New York City is dangerous equally. I feel unsafe in the subway, I feel those things. So I just protect Colombia and say that like I want Americans to know that like this is a safe place to come.
You gotta pay attention now, you know what I mean?
My apartment is in a very nice area, and the cost of living here, if we're talking about getting your nails done, in Florida, for example, I can go get my nails done for $70. Here I have a woman that comes to my house. She
does my nails and my toes, and it's $30.
What Colombia is today, not exactly what the same place I fell in love with. There's a lot of things that have changed, but obviously the Colombian people have gotten very smart about like being able to take advantage of all the interest in their place as anybody would, right? So you see a lot more shysty stuff going on. There's a lot more scams. I just hate hearing about that stuff.
I mean, he's not wrong. Medellin has changed a bit, but we're gonna come back to Medellin later. But right now, we're gonna fast forward to day 11 and our adventure in the place that surprised me the most.
Seems like everyone has a special person but me.
It's definitely a lot calmer. Medellin, I think, can be has very big city energy. Obviously, lots of flashy lights and beautiful people and clubs and restaurants and all of that entertainment that you kind of look for when you go to a big city. This is definitely a much slower place.
The real question now.
All right, go on.
How is it traveling PassportHeavy while you're in a long-distance relationship?
Right now, we're about to go on a pontoon ride out here in San Andres. And so Get Your Guide made it simple. Literally booked on the app, and now we're here, baby. You always know Arnold for the music, but he also does the design. So this is Yuri's new shirt. Look at the vibes, look at the vibes.
Good. Hey, T.
Hey, right.
This is probably the best $30 I've ever spent. And if you want a private experience, it costs around $250 for up to 8 people. And it was 6 hours of pure bliss. I just remember being on the one island thinking, I've spent 10 times more money on some fancy place or a boat and not had the experience that I've had here. Okay, so, 40 minutes. No video, no video. So when I look to do the best experiences in any city in the world, and I don't really have a plan or anyone showing me around, that's from hiking, taking a boat out, to food tours, or just unique experiences, I always look on Get Your Guide. And the reason is, it's just really simple and easy, and you get expert locals who really know their stuff, so it makes your life seamless and easy. And then I just look through the categories that interest me in that city, and then next, I look at the reviews. Reviews are everything for me, right? Seeing unbiased people who have paid money talk about their experience, and you're gonna see why later it's so important that you actually have vendors who care about their ratings. Because with no consequences for bad service, some people act up. And then when you can put their ass on blast, that's when they're gonna act right. Some people gonna be good no matter what, but reviews will keep people in check. And I've used it in Mexico, Colombia, you name it. Basically, it's worldwide. It's the #1 thing I go to look at if I'm by myself or even with a group. They've got 24/7 support. Plus, you can cancel up to 24 hours before the trip with no penalty. And then you can do the experiences completely private, or you can do it in a group, and then that way it's gonna be way more affordable, and it can actually add to the fun because you're going with a group and you're gonna have more energy. So there's several sides to the island. We stayed on the main part. So you've got a few restaurants and literally 2 places for nightlife. You've got the local vibes and you got the more tourist vibes, Coco Loco. The island definitely has a certain rhythm to it, and I wanted to talk to the locals to get a feel. So of course, you know my first stop, the barbershop, baby.
Proud to be Colombia because we have a good energy. Colombian is dance. Colombian is sea, beautiful sea.
Who are some of the artists right now special from San Andres?
Some of the artists special for right now, you got Danner Dan Dan, you got OBP, you got Jiggy D.
And where can I find them?
Well, I know I got them on my phone, but I don't know right now where they live.
Yeah.
And so I can call them. Because when I got people in here we want to interview you, know. Yeah. Los manes son de Chicago. ¿Sí me entiendes? Los manes son influencers, los manes viajan por todo el mundo.
So me and Yuri got on our bikes to go find Obi for the first time in 3 days after leaving the most touristic part of the island.
It's a mix of 7 different alcoholic beverages, but this shit is gonna make you mad.
Pa' que tú me extrañes y yo pueda extrañarte. Bam, bam, bam. Hey. Y cuando nos dé la gana, nos encontramos, nos matamos en la cama. Baby, quiero besarte la boca. Es que tú tienes no sé qué que a mí me aloca. Baby, quiero besarte la boca. Es que tú tienes no sé qué que a mí me aloca. Respiración boca a boca.
We bring sound system, we bring DJs and stuff, and that's it. We make like a close party, just 15-20 people, and enjoy till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. This is one of the only beaches on the island. You can actually party with us here, and like the police don't mess around. Like in the center, you see it from 5 p.m. they're taking you off the beach. But people don't even know where you're ubicated. Even here, when like people from Japan come here, from different parts of Europe, I'm like, yo, how did you find out about San Andres? Because nobody knows this place. Yeah. San Andres is in the middle of nowhere. You look Google Map, if you don't put the name, you don't know that it's there because it's so tiny. To place the island on the map is through music, through the art. But the government still don't understand. The government only want to do what them do.
So this is where your beliefs change on what a hostel can be. The best pool parties are thrown here on the entire island. Most people would confuse this for a nice hotel. Did you think a hostel could be like this? Let's go take a look at the dorms and the private rooms. If you're single or you're just looking for people to easily connect with at a high-end hostel, this is a no-brainer. So at 10 p.m., we were Googling the best places to stay, and then we found Sea Avenue. Checked in like 11:30 at night. The hotel is super nice, it's comfortable. You know, no liquor is served there, but you can bring your own. The rooms are beautiful, the rooftop is nice. easily one of the most luxurious options on the island. And then Nyla, Arnold, JP, and Yuri stayed 5 minutes away in a beautiful apartment in the center of town. Then you have transportation on the island. Yeah, taxis here are unregulated and prices here are all negotiated. I'll list kind of what you can expect for prices. My favorite way to get around are buggies and scooters. And because there was 7 of us, we decided to split up. So Nathan and Arnold, they decided to head out and go for a peaceful day of fishing. And then me, Yuri, and JP, Nyla, we said, hey, let's go scuba diving. Let's get it.
Malo, aquí en Colombia, mi español, necesito hablar español en Colombia.
We out here about to scuba dive, so even if you've never scuba dived before, we're out here with lionfish, and so it's like an introductory to scuba diving.
Today we are out on the boat. It's a beautiful day. We're about to catch some fish.
Yes, she's beautiful, yes?
Beautiful. Apparently it is the most popular water boat / club in this area, and it is amazing so far. We're going straight for the bottle, baby, right here. See that? Medellin, 5 years.
And the cool thing about the lionfish scuba diving experience, it was a lot of our times first time, and they were nervous, and it was like a really transformational experience. And then some of the benefits to actually having a pro guide. They make you feel so comfortable, and then another thing is, they're gonna make sure you have some of the best footage for the gram.
Today, we came out. I was a bit unsure to start with, I've got to be honest. We had a great day. You're gonna see it. You've already seen it in the episode. What a guy. Top 2 days I've had out since I've been here.
So San Andres was really an unexpected hidden gem in Colombia that had me wanting to come back ASAP. You know, it's filled with sun, fun, relaxation, and a major culture that really could be like the cousin of Jamaica.
Where are we going, Nyla?
We're going to Barranquilla.
We're going to Tayrona, and then we drive into Barranquilla for the carnival for the next 2 days.
It's about to be a vibe. We're going there for Festival. I've heard some really good things about it, so let's see how it goes.
Vamos, vamos. Where are we going?
Airline? We're going to it's close enough, you know? This is a lot more luxurious than my last carnivore experience. I've got, look at my bed, I've got a place to sleep all by myself, right behind Nathan. That is where I'm sleeping at night. But quite comfortable. Had to go buy towels because I didn't have enough towels, but this is actually one of the most luxurious experiences you will actually have during carnival out here. No hot water, but I mean, better than most.
Jesus Christ.
so I got an English accent out here. And so where's my brother from?
I'm from London. Tottenham, London. A rude boy too, you get me?
Get me? And then we have the beautiful queen from Barranquilla. And what's your name?
My name's Francis Tejedor.
What makes you proud to be like Afro-Latino? What would you say makes you proud?
To be Afro-Latino. I can't talk for everybody, but it's not something common to see somebody that is from Colombia being identified as Afro-Latino. We say like Afro-Colombian people, or we are negros, or we are moreno. I think like our history is really powerful, and also that our community is really resilient.
I was like, man, this country has everything. It's really beautiful. The people, super friendly, super engaging. Yeah, there's problems here like anywhere in the world, but no more complicated than where I come from, living in London.
You said you have a 3 or 4 bedrooms.
Originally 4, and I took a room out to make the salon. Oh. And the equivalent for me to buy the house I have here in Colombia, in London, would be more like about 3 million, something like that, compared to what I bought here, which was like the better part of £100,000 or maybe 120,000 pounds with the changes and everything else, in the same, quality area. I didn't even know it had a carnival here in Barranquilla. I didn't know there was outside of Colombia. I'd never even heard of Barranquilla Carnival. So coming here for the first time and being like, my God, this is carnival like in South America. The thing that I know and love from my culture, and even being in London, it's actually here in the city I moved to and I lived in. That's just blessed. Like, I can't really argue that. That was absolutely perfect for me. The thing that was probably the biggest surprise, and it's taken me a while to get used to, is probably not the word I would use, is definitely the son de negro, because that I've still been here 5 years. That's still very difficult for me to see someone in blackface running up to me going, ah! I'm like, what? Well, at the end of the day, it's their culture. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I can feel how I want to feel about it. I've been raised a certain way. I've pro-black parents, so you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, you can't just bring your attitude and your idea to somebody else's culture.
And about the restaurant, the food is actually some of the best in the city, and I heard that from multiple people. And if you're going through Carnival, yeah, you can see the performers, they're cool, but really, you're going for the food. Our carnival experience, it was a complete shit show. And so what I said, just like any carnivals all around the world, pickpocketers are all about. So make sure, they're like, oh, how you doing? And then before you know it, no iPhone left. Me, I got the zips. My iPhone will stay with me, hopefully.
So Jabril loses his phones on a regular, so it's clear as day to me that he's going to be the one to get his phone stolen.
My name is Anne, and I came to Colombia because, I don't know, I just wanted to travel. I heard about the carnival, I heard it was pretty good, so that's why I'm here, just to celebrate.
Hi, my name is Vela, I'm from Holland. I heard about the carnival because a friend from traveling, they told me about it, and we all booked the hostel and now we're here. So I don't know where to go, so please help me out.
First rule of Carnival, it's not free. You need to buy a ticket. Everybody got a ticket. So we gotta go find out now how much a ticket costs. We're not very prepared. So I just spent $50,000 on the wristband. They say this gonna get me through the same way, and they say $300,000 over there for one. That's what the military dude said. So I'm gonna make sure it works, then we're gonna buy all of them.
El agua, no te pide el agua, la dame.
Turismo.
No, por allá abajo. Tusica.
Huh?
Tusica.
How do you say it?
¿Qué es eso?
No, they just...
Excuse me.
Los periodistas nada más.
¿A dónde nos vas a pasar, Velasco?
Let's go. So now we're finally inside. Like I told you, you just got to keep that confidence. And no matter where you're at around the world, you can finesse anything. We are entering.
Go.
Pare. Devuélvase, por favor. Eso no es así.
Okay. All right, we got to wait.
Por favor, allá.
I know you're doing your job.
Where did we go wrong today, Nyla?
Coming in late.
The morning, I think, where we went wrong. Not coming out early.
Take money, cash checks. You see the set, that's Lash, that's Dex.
But it's okay. I mean, at first I was like, this is just a hot day.
Oh my God.
You can expect certain things to happen, but it doesn't always work the way that you expect it to. But true in life is how you react. Mixing with the locals, dancing in the street, the pure energy carnival season brings is not to be missed. And our advice, don't be last minute dummies like us. Plan in advance like any other major event. Keep your valuables safe. We make mistakes just like anyone else, but we are often the trailblazers of a spot. And that's why we create these guides to countries and cities so you don't have to make the same mistakes that we do. And have the best possible time in the most efficient way possible. So after the carnival chaos, we were ready for a beautiful, scenic 2.5-hour ride to the coastal city with backpackers, adventurers, and beach dwellers, and reminders of how to lose $3,356 in 3 seconds.
Ya viene el carro que los va a llevar.
Oh.
Pero él va a revisar.
Oh, diferente carro.
Sí.
Ah, okay. We're on the way. So finally, after a 3-hour delay, we pull up to one of the most unique looking places yet on our adventure. Wild nights, new friends, and a near-death boat experience.
¿Cuánto cuesta para botella?
Sí.
Okay.
Para botella de ron?
¿Rum? ¿Cuánto
cuesta la botella?
¿Cuánto cuesta? Ah, ok. ¿Cuánto cuesta para botella?
La botella, 80,000 pesos.
You hear that?
That's like $15.
$15 for a whole bottle out here in Santa Marta. You can't get better value than that.
Let me actually, oh, $16.32.
Should we get it then?
Yes.
Hey, vamos. All right, so you have to do a shot with us, right?
Tiene que ser una shot.
Brisa Loca es bueno.
Brisa Loca Hostel is where
Sí,
we
es
go hard.
un hostal. En la terraza rumbera.
¿Hoy? ¿De noche?
Hoy sí.
Oh, shit. Here, tonight.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
Wait, tú
Salud.
sabes? Oh, no, cheers.
Salud.
You guys want to take shots of us? You guys want to take shots of us? Yay! This is Jabril.
What's your name?
Jabril.
Jabril.
Yeah.
Amanda and Sarah. Yeah.
Close.
Myra, Manal,
How you
Arnold.
doing?
Hi.
What's your name?
Manal, are we American too?
No, I'm from Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Manar is it?
What?
Manar?
Manal with an L at the end.
Oh, Manal.
Where
okay.
in Australia?
Melbourne. From Melbourne. What about?
Bueno, el carnaval fue originado aquí en Santa Marta, pero Barranquilla lo tomó, lo modificó y lo hizo famoso. Don Carlos está empezando a hacer efecto.
What she say?
I'm Myra. I'm a flight attendant and I live in Munich.
I love it.
Hi, my name is Manal and I just got laid off from NBC. That is why I'm traveling all over the world.
You don't ask me that, bro. Okay, it has its challenges, for real. Definitely has its challenges. Luckily for me, I got a great open relationship. We communicate and talk about everything. And, you know, it's very much two-way. It's not like I'm the only person that's out here traveling and meeting different people. But it requires a lot of open communication, a lot of transparency, a lot of willingness to be vulnerable and open at the same time.
And so, I mean, and I'll meet you guys. What's the name of the hostel?
Brisa Loca.
Just text it to me.
Buenos dias, mi gente. So I don't know much about where we're going today, but I do know that it's called Minca. Currently, we're waiting for our guide from GetYourGuide. He or she's going to be taking us on a hiking adventure, coffee tasting, and waterfalls. Vamos!
We were talking about these cicadas. Do you remember? Estábamos hablando de las chicharras. The male cicadas go to the top, the females go to the middle of the tree. And the males from the top throw the sperm to the female that is down. Lower, there is no pee-pee, there is no popo, there's actually
sperm.
Careful, you could get pregnant.
Okay.
So what was going on right now?
I was feeling drops on my face and my arm, and then I hear water, but I was like, what is that? And he just explained that it's cicada sperm. Oh, I just got attacked by that toucan, that beautiful toucan. Bit me in the hand. Yeah, this is my first time at a coffee farm in Colombia. And I had no idea that coffee was that much of a process. This place so far is delicious, and it is one of the most popular restaurants in Santa Marta. So yeah, let's see what it's about. Hola.
For me, I just feel like peace, serenity, tranquility when I'm on the water. Just good people, good vibes. I mean, don't matter how big or small the boat is, water, good vibes, and good people, I'm about it. We're on this boat ride. It's a little rough. And so, well, it is what it is. How do you say, you want to go on a boat today?
¿Quieres ir en viaje de barco?
No.
She said no.
No tenemos tiempo.
She said she doesn't have time.
Being on a boat, a yacht, if you have a weak stomach, they have sea tablets. And so, yeah, water's getting a little rough. You're out here in nature. The benefits of booking with like Airbnb, Get My Boat is they care about their ratings. Here, we're just on a boat that wants money, and hopefully we get to share this story with you. If not, well, it is what it is. Pro tip, bring your own cash because prices can be expensive. You know, it's a beautiful area, the landscapes, it's a nice chill day, but definitely not worth the ride. Go early where it's less choppy. So easily, one of the top 2 worst boat days of my life. And I've had a lot of boat days. First time in my life, after 100+ boat rides, I demanded my life jacket. JP had my $3,400 drone swimming with the fish. Let's hope insurance covers that. But they say some moments are priceless, like this. We have a drone that is lost in the ocean. Somewhere out there lies a drone. Not a small one either. No more drone shots for right now. It's swimming.
You're lying.
Yeah, the drone is swimming.
Which one?
The big one.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
JP's gonna get on a boat and see if we can see it.
And what's that gonna do?
Be able to get the footage at least.
Oh, okay. Aww. And that one's pricey, right?
Yeah, it's like $4 grand.
Oh my god.
4?
Yeah, $4,000.
Dollars?
Okay.
I know.
Behind the scenes.
JP.
We're gonna go and look.
No.
But we need to. It's really embarrassing.
I mean, things happen, but yeah.
I didn't.
So, we're coming back. And then the funniest thing though was JP, 5 minutes before he crashed. He's like, yo, bro, what separates the men from the boys is manual mode. You get these shots, so close to the water, you go right over. 5 minutes later. The island was great though, but the food is overpriced because it's on par with some of the fanciest places that you saw in Medellin. But when you're on a remote beach, you ain't really got many options. Here's a little tip for you. I've been to Santa Marta before, about 8 months before this. I did an Airbnb experience where it was $35 for each of us. And then we were on a group experience, but it was a big boat. And then we got there perfectly. We didn't feel like we were gonna die. And it even had lunch and a few drinks included. I would do that all day over the experience that I had. One of the best sunset dining experiences you can have is 15 minutes away by taxi from the center of town.
My food was kind of but Jessica, she had the lobster tail, was $15 and was fire. Wish I'd ordered that, so that'd be my top tip. One thing I'd change, maybe the seating, like hard wooden chairs. But recommend overall, come for sunset, you'll love it.
If you know anything about me, I've been working online for almost 2 decades now. And so I'm always looking for a good co-working space. And then we pulled up to the Flamingo. Real cool spot, unique design, but you can get food and drinks while you work, and the internet speeds are really respectable. So just want to give you a quick little review of this Airbnb that we're staying at. Beautiful home. You can really feel the love in the home and the design. So completely refurbished, 5 bedrooms, 6.5 bathrooms. Also comes with day and night security, someone to let you in and out, also clean the home. Rooftop pool is beautiful. There's a little workup out there. If you want to eat up there, you can eat here, lounge out here. Wi-Fi is solid, and I couldn't recommend this place enough. You just feel the beautiful charm, and I feel like the pictures on Airbnb didn't even do it justice as beautiful as it is. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy as much as we did. And one more thing, it's super rare to have consistent hot showers in Santa Marta, and this place classed with flying colors. Santa Marta is a hidden tourist gem. You know, everyone knows about Cartagena, but few in comparison have experienced this authentic Colombian coast. So at this point, we are $27,500 deep into making this episode. But we heard way too many great things about Parque Tayrona, so we decided to make one last road trip. Well, as you can see, this is a welcome drink worth having.
La idea es que pues también vivan como el tema de que en toda esta zona vas a ver esta vegetación, esta fauna y flora y poder convivir con los animales. Esa es la idea, ¿sí?
It's a long journey, so now I gotta do a cash advance, basically. They're probably gonna charge me like 15–20% to take out cash, because they don't have ATMs here, and you can't pay with a card. So we're gonna go to a restaurant and charge it. Yo, so right now, this is how you save about an hour at a time. You take one of these vans. Listo. It's 5,000 pesos per person. It's getting a little bit later on in the day. I'm all for the adventure, but we don't have much time, so we're gonna save an hour. So what's happening right now, we're about to get horses because this man, JP, behind the camera is complaining nonstop. Oh, mosquito bites my ankle, I think it's swollen. Basically, he wants to ask for his mom, and I don't want to hear it no more. So we're gonna get horses to save time, so I don't gotta hear him talk no more. Let's get the horses. Shavy's gonna get scooped up by his ass because he's not jumping on his ankle. I lost my footing. Parque Tayrona was easily one of the most beautiful and most unforgettable places I've ever witnessed with my two eyes. And it's the kind of place that you want to share with someone. You know, after this long journey and hike that it takes to get to the most beautiful part, you sit there and you're just like, this is truly what life is about. Connection with nature, you're forgetting about everything else that's going on in your life, and you're just seeing this place that probably was filled with dinosaurs before, literally. I highly recommend, even if you're the bougiest of bougie, staying on a tent on that beach will be something that you will be grateful that you did. So after the crazy adventure around the country, now it's time to take it back to Medellin, where I fell in love with the paisas. Now we heard earlier about men dating. Now let's hear from locals and the expat perspective.
But the dating scene, I mean, it depends. If you're dating, like if you're going exploring the expat kind of route, or the Colombians. The Colombians is a very different culture. They love to have fun. They love their women, you know? And then you got like the expat who are like, I feel like most expats that I actually came across are usually the ones who are like very devoted to a path, their purpose. Usually they're business people. So you can see they're looking for life partners. Whereas like Colombians, I felt it was more like living in the moment, not really thinking about the future. For a man to find their life partner, it's just a question of courage, you know? Like when you see someone who really like catches your eye, then have the courage to just tell this person. As a woman, it's like, oh, like I don't hear that often. Not many men actually dare to approach someone and tell them how they really feel.
It's different here. Okay. Very different than New York. I love Hispanic men. I love Latino men, but it's hard because I don't speak amazing Spanish, so that limits the dating pool for me too. But it's really challenging and fun, right? It's like really fun to go on a date where you can't speak the language and you're just sitting there like giggling and laughing and like vibing, and you're really going off energy. That's the one thing I've learned here is like for the dates I've been on that I can't speak the language, it's all about energy.
I'm not into Colombians. I would say like the paisas, love them, but not for me. But dating scene is I mean, there's a lot of foreigners that travel through here.
Turn off. They're like when men like brag too much. Like they talk a lot about the things they have, like in a way like it's like showing off, you know? Latin women, not only in Medellin, but Latin women are usually more like really like they want to see like a lot of affection, and like people from other places, men tend to be like more
like to say like dry, not to say dry.
Muchas personas viajan a Colombia porque relacionan Colombia con cocaína y con mujeres. Colombia no es narcocultura, Colombia es mucho más que la putería y que el alcohol y la cocaína. Somos folclore, somos mucha biodiversidad, mujeres lindas, personas inteligentes, científicos, buenos deportistas. Colombia tiene mucho más para ofrecer que el turismo sexual.
There's so many different categories of men coming down to Colombia, right? You got the guys coming down for a bachelor trip, the newly divorced guy, or guy looking for Western women, and everything in between. What do you think about gringo women? What do you think about?
No. I got to tell you the truth. The truth. So, Hasana is so beautiful place. I know it. Your women's Hasana are so beautiful than you see that, and are so funny to have a greatest conversation with that. Are a happiness person. Always are looking for a new experience, but the truth is that we have a better bodies here. That's the truth. That's the truth.
To be honest, hands down, as of now, one of my best trips. And it's only been 2 days I'm here. It's been amazing.
I had an interesting, arc in that, when I got divorced, I quit my job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I drove Uber for a year in the United States. I disappeared off the radar and figured out what I wanted to do. The first 2 years here was rough. I had taken all my savings. When I first moved here, I just said, screw it. I either got to do it now or not. But I always believed in my vision. I bet on myself.
I don't know, everything to me is just culture shock. I'm 100% unprepared. I don't speak Spanish. The people, man, the people are great. I don't necessarily expect that when I'm traveling all the time. It's like Southern hospitality kind of thing. Like they have great personalities. It's real easy to get around here. That's probably the thing that kind of surprised me the most.
I mean, even though I've been here before, I think a big misconception, at least from years back, is all the negative publicity that was attached to Colombia and Medellin as a whole. And the people's fear of their own safety. But once I came my first time and I saw how welcoming everybody was, and just getting rid of those misconceptions, I was like, man, this is a place for sure. So.
And any plans of leaving anytime
Never.
soon? Okay, never.
I bought my place here last year.
Okay, so that was your commitment to the country. What do you feel here in Colombia that you don't feel in the United States?
Well, even more specifically Medellin, because I've been all over Colombia. I feel, number one, my quality of life has gone up tremendously. I think people get in ruts in their lives, right? In the United States, I was in a rut, certainly. You do the same thing over and over, and you don't want to take a chance or a risk. And there's a lot of great things outside of the United States. And you just have to discover them. And here, I feel very comfortable. I have a great life. My quality of life is very high.
It does a lot for you to be able to speak Spanish in terms of getting to know women. Once you get past the hi, hello, can I have your number? Now you gotta get to know this person, right? I wanna be smooth with it. I wanna be able to show my personality, and the same way I could do it in my language. I went to school. Let me give you a pro tip, because this is very important. If you're a male and you come out here, don't go looking for a female teacher. I'm serious, because a lot of dudes want to come out here and get a female teacher, and I know what y'all are thinking. You know what I mean? So if you really want to focus and lock in on your Spanish, don't get a female teacher, because I ended up hooking up with one of my female teachers, and I had paid for like 10 classes. I only used about 3 or 4 of them. So yeah.
All my travels around the world I'd never heard of, which was a thing called Devil's Breath. There was a Vice documentary, and there was one in particular, one news article I saw, which was like the headline was 2 women rob 32 men of like $30,000 cash in their property. I was like, damn, like how? And I started researching, finding out more. There's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube. Like basically, or typically, a man meets a woman in a club like towards the end of the night, or even more common on Tinder. They get talking, or they go and meet on the first date. I don't need to go too far with it, but basically things probably seem too good to be true. Guy gets carried away, something gets slipped in their drink when they're not looking, and the next thing they know, they woke up the next day and everything's gone. And basically what the drug does is you take it, and within half an hour or so you just lose your free will.
And I can't forget about the fellas and taking care of ourselves. Everything from dental to barbers.
So which men are better, black men or white men?
Entonces, ¿qué mano el mejor hombre negro?
Or blanco? So, hour and a half of service, my feet and hands, $12.78. Look at his face, look at his, and my feet were rough.
$8.50. 40,000.
How much would that be?
70.
70?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's nuts.
The most surprising accommodation here in Medellin is the hostels. Most people's thoughts are a horror movie or something extra crusty. That can be true, but also the polar opposite. I've stayed in hostels all over the world, and a lot of my greatest memories are from there. We're gonna break down if you're on a $20 a night budget or you're spending $1,000 a night, we got you covered. 23 Hotel is easily one of the most recognizable hotels, not just in Medellin, but the world. This is designed for people who care about the details and are willing to pay for it. Many different room options, and they have a great restaurant and an unforgettable rooftop. Landmark is one of the best values in the city. Simply, it's got a rooftop, filtered water dispenser in every room, and different options from a regular room to beautiful lofts. An interior design that is crafted with love and thoughtfulness of use, not just beauty. Hold up, trust me, it's worth the interruption. So y'all be watching the video saying, yo, you travel so much and you make it look so effortless. Well, I don't pay what everyone else does. For example, this smooth $6,000 flight, got it for free, just paid the taxes. Or this $350 a night hotel, paid $176. Or this $1,000 a day Maybach, paid $200 a day. Or this Ferrari, $200 a day. Even this $600 a night Airbnb, paid $300. And after so many DMs and comments asking how, we decided to create the PassportHeavy Bible explaining how we do all this in detail. So not only does it cover that, but how to stay safe, not get scammed, and like what apps to use, and so much more. I know if you apply this, you will literally save thousands a year on travel. And since you're watching our Colombia episode, if you type in PHv&x on the checkout, you're gonna get 10 bucks off. And I believe in this so much that if you don't love it, you can literally get your money back, no questions asked, because we don't want to keep your money if you don't feel like you got value. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Let's talk about food, because this is arguably one of the best dining cities in the world. And a lot of cities would die to have just one of these spots. Medellin, they like a dime a dozen.
Okay, so right behind me is Don Diablo, and then right up above is their lavatory, where they have all these fermented foods. They also host extra pig meat, and they grow mushrooms. They also have their own fresh herbs like rosemary, mint, anything you can think of. They make everything homemade here. It's lovely.
So the restaurant Tulum in Medellin is a vibe. The presentation before you even walk in the door is an aura. You know, it's a fun restaurant, so if you want a quiet, traditional place, this is not it. But the food and decor are good, and the drinks are incredible. Now, there are so many different areas to eat, and one of the most popular streets to eat and drink and party is Provenza. And a new place on that street from the founder of La Chagra is Totem, a beautiful rooftop spot which is more of like an upscale lounge with food. Polaroids are a cheat code for people to love you. I've never been anywhere with someone who doesn't like these. People are always coming up and saying, "Can you take one of me, please?" Thank me later. We live in Colombia, so our knowledge on the country is crazy. Even in this mini movie, we shot 70 hours condensed down into 1 hour special. And we created a guide to Colombia that goes so much deeper into the food, the accommodations, the culture, the customs, safety tips, hidden gems. And we weren't even allowed to film in our favorite restaurants. All of those are included in our Colombia guide. For example, where the wealthy locals eat is a place called Amsterdam Plaza. It's a low-key, but you don't really see tourists, but the food is top-notch. And there's so many different gems in this guide, from the high-end to hole-in-the-wall spots. Make sure you click that link in the description. So if you want to see an authentic, non-gringo, local food experience, there's one street, Street 70, Calle 60. It's in the neighborhood of Laureles. And it's less touristy, but really safe and nice. And Juan's about to tell you a little bit more about this street.
Right now we're at the 70th Avenue, or La 70 in Medellin. This is a street full and crowded of bars, liquor stores, hotels. It's pretty much a hustle bustle, but for locals.
Okay.
This is like the most native and maybe local experience that you can ever have in Medellin.
And then another thing about Juan, he was our VIP car service around Medellin. Every time I'm going to and from the airport, he always holds us down. And one of the great things about him and his company, because it's not just him, he has a fleet of drivers. They all speak English with the super decked out, bulletproof cars. Highly recommend. So a big thing about being out here in Colombia, if you want to keep a good rating and not piss off the drivers, when you open the door, open gently and do not slam. So this is how you close. Ooh, no too big, hold on. Oh, there we go. Hola, ¿cómo estás? So you watch, gently. Ooh, now Oni is a new beautiful spot where they don't miss. This is Nathan's favorite sushi joint, outside of Japan. One thing though, make sure you got a reservation if you're going on the week or the weekend, because it stays packed. And I definitely recommend the sweet lobster roll and the tuna nigiri. Oh, and if you want to have an amazing dinner party or a vibe at your crib, we host quite often, and the biggest hit was definitely Chef Dubs. When you're talking about teppanyaki, sushi, he is a true showman. You just let him know what you want, and he takes care of the rest with him and his team. And if you want to kick it up a notch, oftentimes we get bartenders, and so we've got all of them listed inside of the Colombia guide, as well as other chefs that can come to the crib. And then one thing about Colombians, both the men and the women, they take great pride in their appearance. Top tier gyms are everywhere. My personal favorite, Smart Fit. So right now we got my personal trainer over here, Andres, $140 a month for 5 sessions a week. That's 20 sessions a month. America, that'd be like $1,200 a month. It's Andres.
¿Cómo estás? Nice.
The #1 tourist activity in Medellin is Comuna 13. It's a beautiful transformation. There's so much history, but I won't spoil it all for you, but show you what happens when a vision and leadership come together for a place.
Comuna 13. Comuna 13 is a place that I have been there 1,000 times. I have many friends to see there that I have many friends.
So there's 16 neighborhoods, right? Or barrios in Medellin. In this area. I heard Comuna 13 used to be the most dangerous out of everything. But now...
Around the world.
Like in the world?
Yeah.
Wow. guy is incredible. You can really tell how much he loves his country and how knowledgeable he is. My favorite moment was definitely playing basketball and football with the kids. And I actually got a real sweat in it. One kid was a little too good, so I hacked his ass. After it was all over, we're just hanging out. I asked them, yo, y'all want an ice cream or something? They're like, no, yo quiero Coca-Cola. And the joy it brought to them was priceless. Then I also got introduced to one of the country's best musicians from Comuna 13, Bombi. And he was actually doing a music video, so we rolled up for one of the coolest experiences of our lives.
Desde 2018 no hacíamos nada aquí. Quería devolverme a que el barrio sienta que es parte de mi carrera artística.
Okay, after 45 minutes ride from Medellin, we are here in San Felix to paragliding, have this crazy experience. It's gonna be my first time.
Siéntate, siéntate, eso, estás volando.
I can't open my eyes.
Yeah, open your eyes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So one of the most feared areas currently in Medellin is Centro. If you've ever been to the Tenderloin in San Francisco or Skid Row in LA, well, this reminds me of that, but just not as bad as San Fran or LA. But there's so much still to cherish in this neighborhood though.
What do arepas mean to Colombia?
Todo. Sin arepa no vivo. La arepa es algo representativo para Medellín y los paisas.
They put this fence about a week ago. It was full of homeless people, prostitutes. Now people like being here.
If you know anything about art, you know who Fernando Botero is. And he had 23 sculptures that he donated and transported to Medellin because he was scared to come because he feared he was gonna be killed by Pablo Escobar. And what's crazy is one of these pieces that you're looking at right now, a similar one just sold for $4.3 million. And I've seen them everywhere. Soho in New York. I just stayed at the Four Seasons in Miami. His artwork is everywhere. Colombia has an amazing art scene all over the country, and it's something that they should be proud of. If you know anything about the boy, I can't forget about the nightlife. There are so many different places and activities to satisfy all desires. The speakeasy, the hole-in-the-wall spots, the nightclubs, the streets. Day parties are big too. I actually prefer them. Not having to be out late, and Click Clack Rooftop is a vibe, especially on Saturday and Sunday. And they do some brunch specials where you get unlimited food and drinks for a few hours. Provenza, which is filled with nice bars and restaurants, more of a high class, no prostitution is allowed on the street. That's also why they don't allow women dressed in a certain way to enter restaurants and bars here. Then you have Parque Ayers. There's a lot of spots here, but I'll list a lot of them in the guide to give you the rundown. There's too many to name. And then the hidden gem, Hostel rooftops are a great place to vibe too. They have some of the most beautiful views in the city with beautiful people, a very international crowd, and then on Sunday at some spots they have some of the best pool parties in the city.
Here we are in Medellin, Colombia at Solar Festival, pretty much the biggest festival in Medellin. The biggest names are coming out, Black Coffee, and you're about to get a behind the scenes look of what it looks like. Let's get it. You see the water bottle, but it's filled up with liquor so people don't bop each other on the head. But Johnny Walker, Red Label, $51 with 2 Red Bulls. Yo, in LA, you can't even get 2 drinks at a festival for that.
Poniendo sueros de vitamina C, complejo B, para que les dé energía y puedan aguantar todo el festival.
I'm 36 years old, and I've never been to an EDM event before in my life. And I can honestly say, start to finish, it was one of the best nights of my life. I had too much fun. Black coffee lived up to the hype and more. Medellin overall, despite all the issues, is one of my favorite cities in the world, and I can easily see myself living here year after year as a base. You know, from the food, the cultures, the service, the modern and sophisticated vibe, and just the beautiful people and energy. Oh, and I haven't even talked about the weather. It could be the best weather in the world, and that's why they call it the city of eternal spring. 70 to 80 degrees all year long.
Ooh, I don't even know where to begin about Colombia.
But it wasn't until I got to Medellin that I really started to appreciate Colombia.
The diversity of natural beauty I didn't knew about.
8 months living in Colombia, no problems at all.
The biggest takeaway for me is that Colombia is significantly more than what the media has portrayed it to be. It is more than Pablo Escobar, and I can probably say pretty confidently that Colombians are probably tired of being associated with that negative stereotype of the country.
But when you're there, do more, see more, and stay longer if you can. Me encanta Colombia.
And highlight of my trip was San Andres, because it really reminded me of Bali lifestyle, freedom. You got on your scooter, you ride throughout the island.
I just thought that, you know, the food would be better.
But I do recognize we have a responsibility as a travel channel. So like, do I recommend Colombia as a first-time, no experienced traveler? Probably not, but I see no reason why people can't have as good a time as we had.
Colombians vary so significantly, yet they present as one nation. So I think if you get a chance, really take a chance to travel across the country and see as much of it as possible, because you realize how diverse and also just how scenically beautiful it is.